Hey guys, so without leaving any doubt that I am an attorney, a lot of people in the comment section who are not attorneys, they are asking if I am one. Here's my attorney registration number. Here is next registration, and I am currently registered with the New York State Unified Court System. And I will show you I've been an attorney since January of 2013, so year admitted, and I'm in the Judicial Department of Admissions number 3. You can see my company, you can see the law school I went to, and my full name. So with that out of the way, I can finally kind of sink my teeth into the legal. Let me give you a little bit of a story. I promise to make it short. In law school, I had one of the best professors, if not the best professor in legal history, let's call it, for the First Amendment, which is freedom of speech, right? It is something that we as Americans value very highly. It is, of course, the First Amendment. So there's a reason it is first. And I took his class on constitutional law, and basically it was just about the First Amendment. His name was Professor Van Austin. He has since passed away, rest in peace. At one time, he was a candidate for the Supreme Court Justice, to become a Supreme Court Justice. The guy was very intelligent, very brilliant, and one thing that he said to me is, that will always stick in my mind, is there are many organizations, many people, many bullies, many anonymous individuals who want to take away your freedom of speech. And they take it away by making you feel a little guilty. Oh, you feel kind of bad for this person. Defamation, slander, libel are some of the most difficult cases to win, especially if you are a public figure. As a public figure, you should be able to defend yourself, right? You have the same platform that Karl, Jobst, and SomeOrdinaryGamers have. So you can defend it, and if the public believes you, they believe you. That's just the nature of the game that you play on YouTube. And if you are a sore loser and then you want to cry about it, then you might want to sue. But in all of this case, you must push back. So the First Amendment, freedom of speech, and more to the point, freedom of speech, having an opinion is absolutely okay. Your opinion can even be wrong, and many times people have very vastly different opinions, and both people can strongly believe in that opinion. Not to bring religion into this, but yeah, religion, people have different religions, and you're entitled to your religion under the Constitution of the United States. So when you have an individual who's talking about slander and talking about lawsuits and talking about this type of stuff, you got to push back. We as a community, or individuals in the community who care about the First Amendment, have to push back, because there have been many examples in the histories of other countries where a dictator, this guy believes in the First Amendment. You actually can look at Napoleon, for goodness sake, right? In the French Revolution, he took away many of the rights for women. Just did so. If you don't push back, people will take away your right. That is just how civilization works. Be it a government, be a dictator. The First Amendment is something that we need to cherish and protect, because there are countries out there, North Korea, China, other countries that don't look at, the Middle East, probably. There's a bunch of them where you don't really want to be speaking your mind all that frequently, where there isn't the right to speak your mind, right? I actually was reading an article, and an individual was wearing a Make America Great hat, a Make America Great Again hat. This is obviously a Donald Trump hat, and she wasn't allowed in a store. This type of where we are as a community, right? Elon has Twitter and so on. I'm not going to go down that road into that. But you should have the freedom to speech, and you should have the freedom. And in that case, the CEO got kicked out because it was a private store. The store has the right to not allow people in that it doesn't want in. And that's part of the contract that people sign. In our society, however, when you are facing an issue on slander and defamation, you got to fight it. I talked about this in CoffeeZilla versus Logan Paul. CoffeeZilla said, bring it. And again, Logan Paul didn't sue. He actually made an apology video. I believe at this point in time, he actually hasn't refunded the crypto zoo people their money. But nonetheless, he apologized and said that he would, right? And he actually didn't sue. There's been the Dennis video. There's been other videos, Sports Card Investor and versus Sports Card Radio, the cease and desist. A lot of times when you're on a public platform like YouTube, you have the ability to say things that and this is exactly what Gerard did. My response. It's just unfortunate that a lot of people don't believe him and don't very much view this as an apology. They view this more as excuses and really nonsensical and then threats of the lawsuit. And I think that's where it crosses the bounds because he's a YouTuber. It's the old article. I forget what it was. There was a cartoon. And they said, oh, you didn't speak up against this religion. You didn't speak up against when they took away these people and these people and these people. And then by the time that they tried to take you away, there was no one to speak up for you. So on YouTube, people want to have freedom of speech. People want to be able to say what they feel. People want, and the more freedom of speech that is allowed on YouTube, the better. And when you have people all the time, Logan Paul and so on, they always lose this battle because they're always, and think about YouTube as a platform. YouTube allows small individuals to make it big. It allows people with different opinions, from different religions, from different backgrounds, from all different. So all you need is a mobile phone and you can say what's in your mind. And if people agree with you, you will gain a following, right? You might even get patrons, even money. You might even get $600,000 of donations for your dead moms in your dead mom's name. This is all really incredible stuff because we have freedom of speech. And the fact that Gerard, somebody who's benefited from this, and he said some kind of interesting stuff before, is now attacking that freedom of speech, is on YouTube, the platform, when... another thing that I want to kind of address, right, is the idea that, like, freedom of speech can be too much. That it can be cancel culture, that people can slander each other without fear of repercussion. The reason that's not really valid in public figure, and the reason the public figure versus the private individual, I agree with you. If Gerard was some nobody and people were just harassing him and he didn't have any way to respond and he was just kind of taking it. If Gerard was your next door neighbor who doesn't even have a Facebook profile or YouTube profile, and he is just getting absolutely obliterated, right, by these huge YouTubers with 1 million plus followers, I would agree with you, right? I would say, okay, Gerard's a private individual. This is, very different, right, than if he had 1 million subscribers and he had the same amount of subscribers and views as the two people who are accusing him of basically not donating money, which turned out to be true. The idea that he has and the reason that he's building these straw hat arguments that any lawyer would be able to dissect in an instant, right? Oh, well, they talked about my dad's charity and it was COVID times and, but the numbers still don't add up. Numbers don't add up. I mean, you never actually, he's appealing to emotion, right? He never talked about the numbers when Some Ordinary Gamer and Karl Jobst are kind of examining, they're comparing numbers and they're adding up numbers and saying, hey, there's some money missing. This isn't slander. This isn't, people are entitled to their, and imagine a YouTube where people are not entitled to having opinions. Obviously on this channel, Anthony Farrar, as some of you may know, he has threatened to sue me for defamation multiple times. Even in my own comment section of these videos. I exposed him. He's in jail now. Again, I don't take full credit for this. It was a group of individuals on Reddit and other individuals on YouTube as well who really made the argument that, hey, his lifestyle doesn't make sense. He's sitting in jail right now. I think his bail hearing is actually today, but he's been in jail for a while. That's the power of YouTube. It's kind of interesting that these individuals who have a lot to hide. So if you, let me give you some advice, totally free. If you are an individual with a charity, and your charity is a little shady, and you got some other shit that you got to hide, and your dad's got stuff you want to hide, don't go on YouTube and publicize your life. Don't go on YouTube and make a charity for your dead mom if this is what you're going to do. Okay? Because people will investigate you. You're going to get clicks. You're going to get views. You understand how YouTube works because you have gotten to 1 million subscribers. You get how YouTube works and the algorithm works. There is a reason I'm making a video about the Completionist, even though I don't know much beyond what some ordinary gamers and Karl Jobst have said about you. It's the algorithm. It's the game we play. We all play. So in one aspect, we all play this game. In another aspect, you chose to play this game. You chose to make your life public. You chose to make the charity public. You chose to do Indie Land. You chose to collab. You chose to do this stuff. You better make sure you're squeaky clean on the backside. Because if you're not, this is what happens. People ask questions and the numbers don't add up. And if the numbers don't add up, people are going to ask even more questions and more questions and more questions. And let me be quite frank with you. And let me just kind of, let me just kind of take you to the real argument of this. People are entitled to ask questions from you. People are entitled to know where their money has been donated, right? At the very least, they should have some type of idea of, my money went here, it went to this charity, it went to that charity, it didn't go to that charity, it went to this charity. Perfect. Awesome. I think a lot of people are not understanding a very basic, and this is a incredibly basic idea of the society. When you go online and you put your life out there, people have the right to criticize your behavior. People have the right to criticize you. That is a choice you make. So if you don't want the fame, you don't want the fortune, you don't want these subscribers, then please don't put your life out there. But if that's what you want, and you want to be a public figure, just like Britney, stop and leave Britney alone, right? That is a choice that you made. And some of these people, maybe Britney didn't even make that choice. Maybe her dad made it for her. But once you become a public figure, like all these other public figures, their taxes are scrutinized. If Leonardo DiCaprio has a charity and it didn't donate $600,000 or it raised money for 10 years and didn't donate money, TMZ would be all on him. The news outlets would be all on him. If any of these sports celebrities, it was later found, Brett Favre, for instance, right? It's big news. It's reported in every news outlet. So why, if you want the fame, you want the fortune, you want the patrons, you want the subscribers, you want all that, there is a cost to that. And the cost is your life will be public and it can be criticized. And people will give their opinions on you. That's it. And I do think that is fair. Anyway, guys,